Crowhill here. Today we review a porter and wonder, how do you have rights to squat in somebody else's property? Hey!
Okay, all right. Good evening.
So how about some beer and conversation?
Well, I think that's great. So what are we drinking?
Well, I think this is your beer, right? What are we drinking?
Oh, yeah, what am I drinking? This is, yes, it's a porter, and it's a homebrew porter. I'll tell you all about
Fantastic. I love porters, so that's all good.
Anything on your mind?
Well, you know, I work with a guy who knows a whole lot about property rights. And I don't know if you've heard the commercials where they're talking about you need to get title lock because somebody can steal your title.
I hear that
right?
all the time.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous.
It does make you nervous, but you shouldn't be nervous.
It's not that easy to...
Yeah, it's not really that easy to do. And if you're like in your house on a regular basis, it's not a problem. It's really only a problem if you're like away for a long period of time.
Okay, so that gets into our conversation.
Into our conversation.
Yeah,
That's
I see.
Right, yeah. So anyway, what do we got here? This is your homebrewed.
So this is the Well Digger. This is my Well Digger porter, named after the coldest beer I ever brewed. The first time I brewed it. And then most recently, I brewed it on the actual, even a colder day.
That was a cold day. You were brewing at your house, and I was brewing at my house.
It was like 14 degrees.
It was crazy.
It was before the snowstorm,
yes.
But boy, it was freezing. So anyway, it held up to its name. But there's a twist to this one here.
Yeah.
It's got my same old recipe, Maris Otter and Crystal 80 and some black patent. Mm-hmm. I said, let me throw some lactose in here. Mm-hmm. So, why would I do that, and what effect would it have?
So, lactose is a non-fermentable sugar.
Yeah.
Which means the yeasts don't convert it from sugar to alcohol.
Right. So if you want to, if you said I want to sweeten my beer up, and you just throw cane sugar in there,
it's just going to ferment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But the thing about lactose is it's really not very sweet. You can put a lot of lactose in something, and in terms of the taste in your mouth, it doesn't really taste very sweet. So
this was about I think it was 5 ounces in a 3-gallon batch.
Okay.
And I don't know.
I do taste a little bit of the and it should give a sort of a silky mouth feel. Exactly. Yes, it does give that silky flavor, and it does have that. There's something about lactose. There's a quality to it in your mouth that you can feel, and I get that.
Oh, I get it on the back end there. Now it's funny. It's kind of mellowed because when I bottled it, I thought I'd overdone it, but I'm not tasting it being overdone at this point.
No, I don't think so. So I like porters, and I like the different experiments with porters, trying to move them a little bit, as long as you don't go too crazy. Like there are some porters where people are doing chocolate peanut butter porters and that sort of thing. And that's, every once in a while, sure, that's fun, but that's a little too far off the.
And I've not had luck with the peanut butter thing. I think
it's hard to do.
I think if you're just doing artificial flavoring, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
As a home brewer, well, then why?
Right.
If you I want mango flavor, and I'm just going to get some mango extract and squirt it in there.
I know. That's like,
but if you're gonna put it in the boil and whatever, and try to get some mango out of it, that's
interesting.
Fun.
It's crafty, but
I think the peanut butter is hard to get in there without kind of faking it.
I agree.
So anyway, I like. It's not properly carbonated. It's only been 10 days of carbonation, and it's down here in my cold basement.
The carbonation is not quite right, but the flavor is really good.
I think it'll be. I think we'll be just fine. And it's probably, I didn't do the numbers, but reliably in the past, it's around 7.
7 for a porter.
It's a robust porter.
Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so squatters. What is this? What is this squatters?
So what got this going? There is a case in nearby Montgomery County in Bethesda, which has gotten some national attention.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, oh, that's an interesting story. So like, well, what's a squatter right? Anyway, so let's do her story.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead with her story.
So it's a $2.3 million house in Bethesda that this woman has just moved in.
Right.
And I'm like,
she's not just some woman who moved in. She's somebody who films herself doing legal advocacy things.
So her job is basically she advocates on behalf of squatters. Now she doesn't have a law degree. She doesn't, but she knows enough about people. Like
she's a grifter.
Foreclosure, like
right.
If you foreclose on your house, what can you do to not be kicked out of your own house, even though you stopped making the payments?
Right.
And so her job is really advising other people to do what she's doing. So anyway, she's living in this house, and it's been months and months and months, but it's owned now. It's owned by the bank.
Yeah.
And so if the bank doesn't initiate it, right? If the bank's going, look, we have hundreds of foreclosed houses, and we're just not that worried about it.
Right.
But the neighbors don't like it. You know what? What can you actually do? Well, it turned out to be the 19-year-old neighbor, college student, who initiated the process. Because otherwise, there's really not that much you can do, which is kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. So, was this property abandoned or?
It was foreclosed.
Foreclosed.
So right. So it would be different if it was just or an owner who had a second home who he hasn't renovated yet or whatever.
Yeah.
It would be easier. It would be more direct for that guy to say, But unless the bank sends somebody out to make sure, and who knows. They might drive by there and go, I don't know, they're cutting the grass and windows are broken, and they're going. It's probably better having these people living in there in the meantime
than having nobody there.
Because
that's actually a big problem with foreclosed houses. Is things like pipes freeze.
Yeah, right. I was like, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, you could drive them out by just turning off the water and the electricity, but like that does a lot of damage to a house.
It does, yeah. So the stories that you hear about squatters is like somebody goes for a 6-month overseas journey. They've got to take a job in France for 6 months or something, and then they come back and there's like somebody else living in their house.
Yes,
and that does happen. There's this thing called adverse possession.
Right.
And adverse possession allows someone occupying land openly and continuously for years to gain rights. So the idea here is there's this house. Like there's this old abandoned house that's been sitting here and nobody's been doing anything to it. Somebody goes in, they take possession of the house, they actually improve it.
They might even pay the property tax.
Exactly. They fix it up, they live there for a fairly long period of time, and then under this adverse possession concept, they can actually get possession of the property.
Right.
But that is the kind of good spin.
Yes, that is the reason. Because my thought was like, how do these laws even exist? Yeah. Well, there actually are reasons for it to exist, and this is the abuse of those reasons. I was thinking, I was talking to my brother-in-law who's in the sheriff's department, and he's like, the sheriff grew up in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Lives in Maryland, but he grew up in Mississippi, but had like 200 acres left to him by a grandparent or something.
Yeah.
Back in Mississippi that you don't really have any connection to, and you could see like back in if it was years ago, somebody going, well, it's just sitting there. I mean, if somebody could locally, you're going. If somebody's willing to improve this land, if somebody's going to take, grow apple trees and put up a shed and
fix the broken windows.
I mean, just turn this property that nobody ever comes to visit. Mm-hmm. Then eventually, then 20 years from now, you go back down there and go, what are you doing on my land? And then the local administrators are going,
this guy's been taking care of it for 20 years.
Yeah, it's his. It's
and
his.
That
it's
makes
his
sense.
now. And so that is sort of the origin.
Yeah.
But it's been convoluted and abused with a combination of taking old statutes from bygone day and trying to apply it to a suburban house where
but there's a new social media side to this.
Yeah.
Which is where, like in Baltimore, it's a problem where people will go and say, here's this property that hasn't been occupied for this amount of time. We're going to give you like the address, we're going to give you the keys, we're going to give you information so you can go in and take possession of this property. We're going to help you with your legal issues and whatever to try to take over this. And apparently this is a daily occurrence.
And the person that's doing this doesn't own the house?
Right. It's just some other interested party who's going around looking and saying, well, that house, nobody's been there for a while. That one might be good. And then they like advertise it as a place for squatters to come and take possession. And this is, according to what I was reading, they get 3 to 5 a month, if not more, where we deal with squatters just breaking in and then posting it on Instagram that, this is a place that they're gonna like rent out to somebody else.
Oh, so they're not even staying there. They have just taken possession and become landlords.
Yes,
the property that they don't own.
Property they don't even own. So then what? Now imagine here's what happens. Some unscrupulous person goes into this property, fixes it up a little bit, and then says, "Okay, we're going to rent this property to you." They don't own the property. They're going to rent it to you. So you go on Instagram. Here's this property in this neighborhood that you like, and it's relatively low rent.
Right.
So you go and you get a contract with this person who doesn't own the property, who says, okay, we're going to rent it to you for this low rate. And you get in there, and now the police show up, and they're like, what are you doing here? And you say, look, I've got this rental agreement.
Yeah, I mean, you might have your mail coming there.
Right.
You might be getting your utility bill.
That's right.
Your license.
Which is good enough if you go to the DMV and you show, look, I'm getting my.
And so your license has that on there,
right.
And so the owner comes up and says, "Hey, these people are in my house," and so the poor sap, patrolman guy is going. Well, I mean,
he doesn't know the law.
He's like, well, the guy that's inside, he's got furniture and his keys fit the locks.
Yeah, and he goes and he asks the neighbors, how long's that guy? He's been there for like 6 months.
and as the owner, you're like, well, my keys don't lock, but look at my ID. And the guy's like, yeah, I got an ID too. It also says I live here. So that's because one of the confusing things.
Right.
When I first looked into this, I was like, they said, well, it's not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter. Well, at this point, that's what it is. And so now the police is going, I just really can't just go kicking that guy out of there.
Yeah.
It's a very uncomfortable and complicated situation.
That's right.
But it's terrible that it's as easy as it is.
Yes. And generally speaking, it's only easy in situations where the property is not occupied. If you're in your house, living in your house, obviously this isn't a problem. It's not like you go out to the grocery store and come back and somebody's squatting in your house.
But to what extent? So it's a property that you are renovating, and you've been renovating it off and on for 6 months.
Yeah.
That would be tough. But what if you go on vacation for 2 weeks?
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. No, that's not an issue. It's only things that have been abandoned for a length of time that somebody comes along and says, "Okay, we're gonna."
But there's a certain. You're familiar with the sovereign citizen?
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a little bit. It's not that the sovereign citizen that there's necessarily that they're the same people, but there's kind of a similar attitude where they're going to dig up 18th century land laws and apply it to this, and then just stall the courts and not show up, and it's not as easy as just somebody who has not paid rent in a rental an apartment complex.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to get somebody evicted, in that situation.
Yes, but
in this, it's a mortgage and a title and a who knows who owns what.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant, but this case here, so it was months and months and months and months, and finally, yes, because you can't say, well, I'm just in here. You mean the door was wide open and you walked in,
you have to make some
right?
case for why you're there. Yeah.
So then you're finally at breaking and entering. And anyway, the woman gets 90 days. For some reason, she only serves 10 days. But at least in that time, they did come through and clear out all of the furniture.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's good.
Every once in a while you're driving by an apartment complex or something, and you see all this furniture and stuff on the curb.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is pretty sad. Yeah.
Yeah, you're hoping that that it's some terrible person who's done something wrong, but it might just be somebody down on the luck.
Yeah,
and
I know.
What are you
It's
going to do? And
yeah.
I guess that's kind of what the sheriff's department
They
around
they
here.
Gotta do that
that's
kind of thing.
that's part of their gig.
Yeah. So basically, the takeaway is that adverse possession, legally done, is a rare thing. That's like there is such a thing as adverse possession. Yes. But that's a rare thing.
But I think people have convinced themselves that this rare thing is
exactly, and that's where you get all these scams where people are telling people, "Hey, look, I can get you into this house for cheap, under this adverse possession, blah 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 blah." So you have these scams going on. Then you have these really visible cases like that. Generally speaking, if you're in your house, everything's fine. If you have a rental property or someplace that you're renovating, you probably just need to take some steps to keep things on.
But what if you had, your grandfather left you 50 acres in Arkansas?
Yeah, and you're not going to go down there all the time.
I mean, how often would you have to go there to make sure that nobody has set up on it, and how long would they have to? But it's to me what I hear that what did you say adverse
possession?
It's like 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you didn't go there every 5 years, if you should have in 5 years, and somebody's put a trailer on just your 20 acres,
hire some neighbor to go check on the place every once in a while, Yeah. Right. All right. So that's fun. That's
not as nearly as serious a problem as I feared. It seemed like it could happen. It could happen to me if I go to work.
Supposedly, it's a much bigger problem in France.
It's France.
Yeah, I know. Where somebody gets into your place, it's really hard to get them out. But in America, it's really not that big a problem. So we do have some letters.
Okay.
This was about our show on psychology.
Yes.
And psychiatry.
Yes. This is psychiatry as science.
It's psychiatry as science and all that, and all the crazy things people do. So Raven writes in and says, nutritional imbalances and other factors such as ability to detoxify your body have long been studied as factors contributing to mental disorders. And I think that's an interesting question.
Which is so very rarely considered.
Yeah.
It's just like, here, try these meds and tell me how you feel.
Somebody comes in and they've got a disorder and whatever's going on. And it's never like, are you eating enough salad? Are you exercising?
Yes, you're getting sunshine and time with friends.
Exactly. All those things.
But we talked about those things, but we did not talk about nutrition, and that's interesting.
And nutrition is an interesting component. Yeah. So this is about our simulation show. Are we in a simulation? And it's a really long comment from Argonaut, and I'm just going to pull out a couple things here. Artificial neural networks and organic neural networks, that is our brains, behave in very similar ways. And that ties into right? However, what he points out, which I think is very interesting, I think the fact that altered states of consciousness exist make me personally skeptical of the simulation theory or the brain in the vat concept. So, like, altered states of consciousness meaning you're just about to fall asleep and your brain is in this weird state.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He sees those things. If you can hold on that state, that almost asleep,
middle
is called hypnagogic. If you can hold on to that hypnagogic state, you'll find that your mind is basically swirling with vivid and bizarre imagery and thoughts. How would something like this be accounted for in a simulation? So
this is how we know we're not in a simulation.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although in a way, though, a response could just be you're underestimating the creativity of the person who made the simulation.
10,000 years from now.
Yeah.
But I think of it just as the pure complexity of it all, of looking inside the human body, like a surgeon opens your body up, and you're telling me all of the reactions of all of the things that are going on inside your body. This is all built into somebody's simulation?
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Yeah, but
it's interesting. Weird, but you never knows. Okay, I got one more.
All right.
Dr. Numbnuts Ray, our psychology show, wrote to say that we Pigweed and Crowhill, only believe what we had to say about psychology because we don't have a mental illness or know somebody who does.
Okay, so
I think the first thing we have to say is thank you very much for telling us that we don't have a mental illness.
I know.
I've heard. Thanks.
I've heard otherwise.
I know. Yes, but that's a nice comment.
So that's plus.
Yes, that's a plus. But like, frack you for thinking that you know what we believe and why we believe it.
Hold on, but give it to me again.
Okay, that we only believe what we had to say about psychology because we don't have a mental illness or know somebody who does.
Well, I don't know. That precludes having an opinion on
exactly
how the industry operates.
Yes, I get really annoyed when somebody tells me that they know why I believe something. I mean, you only believe that because this. Like,
right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Why do you think you know the inner workings of my mind? Why I believe something?
Yeah, I can't imagine having knowing somebody who with a severe mental illness would change my view of the psychiatric community
exactly.
and its motivations and. In fact, I who knows? I might be more skeptical of how psychiatry operates in the pharmaceutical business if I had a friend.
Exactly. I actually do know people who have mental illnesses, and so I guess my main takeaway from this comment, and Dr. Numbnuts, you're a jerk, but thanks for the comment.
Please listen and comment again.
Yes, comment again, but. Don't tell us we believe something because whatever. I mean, come on, you don't know. You don't know. All right, so back to our main topic here.
Well, do we need to get back? I got a new topic, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, go for it.
You good? Are we done with squatters?
Done with squatters, except just to tell people, if you're not in your house often enough, just go visit it, for heaven's sake. Make sure there's nobody there. Yeah. All right.
People are stealing our stuff.
Oh gosh. I know, I'm getting annoyed at
a couple of weeks ago, we did
it's infrastructure, yeah.
And but in passing, we said, we need to maintain our infrastructure, and I said something about this huge sewage spill,
right, which I hadn't heard
into
about
the Potomac,
before,
and you're like,
what is that?
What do you? Is it 20 minutes from your house? The Potomac?
I know, it's not far at all.
So you're like, how did I not know that?
How did I not know?
Well. Yeah. What do you know? We talk about the sewage spill in the Potomac.
And then Matt Walsh picks it up.
And everybody, it's 50 times on the feed, national news now.
Which is fine, okay? If we're breaking a topic, that's fine. That's good.
Fine.
But give us some credit, for heaven's sakes.
Yes, but let's get back to the original question that you had. Is like,
right.
How in the world was this not already? It didn't just happen.
Yeah.
It had already dumped 200 million gallons of sewage when we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Right. Now it's 300 million gallons of sewage. So why in the world would it not be national news? The greatest sewage spill in U.S. history.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not in the U.S. in what they call the nation's river.
Yeah.
Why would that not be?
So I'm going to answer your question, but first, you just conjured up this image in my mind that I have to get out of my head.
Swimming in sewage?
No, I'm on my kayak in the Potomac River and I'm fishing.
Oh, God.
And I think I got something.
Oh, I'm getting dry heaves.
Really?
Yes.
And it's a wad of toilet paper.
Yes, it's a baby's diaper full of God knows what.
That's awful.
Yes.
So why wouldn't they cover it? The reason
let's run down.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit their narrative, and this is the thing that nobody. This is the thing that nobody understands about news. They're not just disinterestedly looking at the stories and telling you what's going on. No, it all gets filtered through. What's the message we're trying to portray? What's the narrative? What's the what things do we want people to think? So and focus on. and somehow this doesn't fit.
Why
would it not fit?
So here, every politician within 50 miles of the Potomac River is a Democrat that could never be voted out.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So what? You don't care about people swimming in poop because there's no political advantage to pointing it out? Don't you just care because it's disgusting and awful and it's your damn job?
Yeah. Apparently not.
No, I guess that's not how it works.
I know, it's not how it works. So that's the politicians, but why won't the news cover it?
I know.
Why won't the news say, because,
there was an earthquake
or some well in the Gulf of Mexico starts spilling oil, and now oil is not a good thing to spill into the Gulf. I'm not trying to defend that, but oil is not as disgusting as raw sewage.
No, you're not. It's a shame if 100 million gallons of crude spill into the Gulf of Mexico.
It's a shame, yes.
But the Gulf of Mexico is gigantic.
Yes.
We're not drinking that.
Right.
And the
Potomac
River is very small.
The Potomac River is small, and people are swimming in it and kayaking in it and fishing in it and touching it.
And nobody's all that concerned about it, are they?
Why?
Well, maybe because you can't blame it on Donald Trump. And now, so what happens is Donald Trump says, all right, losers, if none of you are going to do anything about it, I'm putting FEMA in charge of this. So they turn around and, well, not because of this, but in the exact same moment, in their effort to say we don't like DHS, we're not going to fund FEMA. So now it might not get fixed because you're mad at DHS, which is, I'm sorry, it's already funded. Yeah. All you've done is defund TSA, so you're going to ruin airport travel. You're going to not clean up a poop river in order to say that we're mad at ICE.
I know. Good grief.
And what? I mean, what in the world?
And people trust the news. This is the thing I just don't understand. It is so obvious that the news is biased. They cover the things that fit their agenda. They don't cover the things that don't. And this is a clear example of the media just missing the biggest spill.
It would be the biggest story if they can we talk
if somehow you could blame it on the Republicans or something.
What about DC water?
Right, exactly.
Do you want to do that?
So apparently,
not saying
so the spill itself
that one thing equals the other.
The spill itself is in Maryland, but the DC Water Authority is in charge of that particular.
The line that takes this poop.
Yeah,
thing.
which apparently goes gravity fed from there all the way down to Blue Plains, Blue something where they do the water treatment, and
well, that's a long way.
It is a long way. That's where
this pipe burst and. Where everybody's just, I don't know, just standing around watching it. Or does anybody know how it happened? And they're saying we're 6 weeks away from.
And why haven't they figured out how? Supposedly some big rocks fell on top of the pipe or something. But there was also, just by coincidence, there was some work going on like 100 feet up from where the spill happened by this work crew. So where's the investigative journalism? Where's the curiosity?
Yeah, what did they do? Who's responsible for this? How did it get this bad? Right. Is this something we've been working on for a long time? Is this, how old are these pipes? 150 years old?
Is this going to happen somewhere else? Like, why didn't
the lack of curiosity?
Why weren't they on top of this? There's so many questions to ask, but nobody asks any of these questions.
No, but the executives at DC Water have really been focused on at least one thing.
Yeah. They've been focused on making sure that the executives all look like
the residents of DC. So
that's really important.
So yes, so like everything else with DEI, you stop caring about the reason that your business, like the reason that your university exists to make kids, hopefully to make smart human beings to go out into the world. That's not really that important.
No,
it's to make sure that there's a certain amount of skin color and. Whatever it is that that is really the primary focus. For DC Water, maintaining the pipes and keeping poop out of the water.
Making sure the water is good to drink and shower in and all that. That's not the primary.
That was secondary because our executives were 2 male and 2 white.
Yeah.
So let's focus on that. And now we have the greatest poop spill ever. Now I'm not saying that one leads to the other, but it ain't helping.
But it sure is a reasonable explanation. I don't know. So here we have this problem, just generally speaking, of raw incompetence at so many levels in our public infrastructure. And like, what the heck? How come the greatest country in the world can't manage relatively simple things like this?
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Yeah, and then the infrastructure thing that the president came out and said, well, Governor Moore, first off, can't fix the bridge, and now he doesn't think that he's got any responsibility for sewage dumping into the Potomac.
And I don't know whether
that turtle-headed liar. I hate that guy.
I know. I don't know if he particularly has liability in this particular question, but he is clearly a loser. And I hope he's gone very, very soon.
He is the smarmy, classic politician. He was a born politician. Yes. He can deflect like nobody's business. Yeah. You listen to that guy and you walk away and wow, that guy's really on it. He's really smart. And then you think about it for 20 minutes. You're like,
wait a minute. He doesn't know what that's going on at all.
Full of it.
I know, he's totally.
But he's the kind of snow job kind of a guy. He's probably going to be. It's going to be. The worst of the worst. It's going to be Buttigieg, Newsom, Governor Moore, Abigail from Virginia. I mean, the AOC.
Yeah.
It's like the worst of the worst is going to be the headline of the 2028.
I would much
rather. And then you and I will sit back and go, oh my God, nobody's going to vote for these people.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen?
And then they do.
it'll be 51%.
I'm with who's the guy who ran National Review?
Buckley?
Buckley. I'm with Buckley. I would rather open up the phone book and pick a name at random and put them in charge than the people we get.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like AOC, Buttigieg, all these idiots. Somebody randomly picked from the phone booth, from the phone book,
right.
Is as if there were phone books anymore.
But you kids know what that is?
Yeah, I know, exactly. You remember that? So somebody randomly picked from the phone book is going to be better than any of these idiots we have in these political positions.
All right, so,
what's our positive spin on this?
Well, don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water. Drink beer. Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedshow.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.